Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On behalf of the captain and the crew, I would like to welcome you all aboard Stygian Airlines, Flight 666, offering direct service to hell. Our travel time today will depend upon prevailing winds and other weather conditions, but Captain Lightbearer is confident that we should reach our destination in 2 shakes of a sacrificial lamb's tail. I would also like to assure you that every consideration for your comfort and safety has been overruled by profiteers, pencil pushers, and petty bureaucrats. We should reach our destination without incident. However, you might want to keep your fingers crossed. Now, Federal Aviation Administration regulations require me to inform you that you shall find exit signs located aft where you came in, forward to your right, and over there to your left. The locations of the exits, however, is anybody's guess. Also, please make certain that your infernal cell phones are silenced. This means you. We'll wait. There. Now, as we prepare for takeoff, please make certain that your seats are in their fully upright positions and that your big yaps are completely closed. When we reach our cruising altitude, our lovely flight attendants, Lilith, Astata, and Eris Discordia, will be dispensing wolfbanes and hemlock cocktails to members of our 7th Circle Club. What's happening? Captain! Sad duty to inform you that no one has survived the crash of Stygian Airlines Flight 666. And I would like to welcome you to La Théâtre de la Jeune Lune. As a way of welcome, we've arranged for you a special production of William Shakespeare's Titus Andronicus. Now, this is your freshman orientation, so your attendance is mandatory. The paradise is lost, it's an inferno, and there's no exit. No exit, we've already done that one. But anyway, Titus Andronicus has fallen out of favor lately. A shame, if you ask me. It is an Elizabethan revenge tragedy, and in its day it was box office gold. Why, Henslow thought he died and gone to heaven. Well, he was half right. Our production this evening will be unique. The actors who are killed on this stage will really die. Yes. There's no actors' equity here, you see. Well, technically they are already dead, but they still die. Death isn't a one-off proposition, it seems. I mean, it is confusing, I know, but try to keep up. Oh, incidentally, I will be acting as your narrator for this evening. Think of me as a sort of Alistair Cook or Alistair Crowley. Anyway, oh, also, I will be speaking for all the minor characters. You see, their mouths are sewn shut. Now, there are a few things to know as our story begins. The setting is ancient Rome, and the emperor has just died. Now, this has set up a feud between his 2 sons, Saturninus and Marcianus, over who should succeed Daddy as the next Le Grande of Fromage. You see, neither boy wants to vacate the imperial digs, complete with hot and cold running Vestal virgins, and trade it for a studio apartment on the wrong side of the Appian Way. Now, into this mix, let us add Titus Andronicus, the war hero who has returned victorious from a long and bloody battle with the Goths. And Titus is also the people's choice to become the next emperor. However, things are not altogether copacetic in Titusville. You see, the general and his missus have sired a whole battalion of copycat soldiers. 25 sons of Titus Andronicus have followed Daddy off to war, but only 4 have survived. Now, into this mix, he has also brought home a collection of battlefield trophies for show and tell. These trophies include Tamara, the queen of the gods, and her sons, Alabus, Demetrius, and Chiron. Oh, and there is also a Moor named Aaron. Aaron will be the wild card in our deck, as you shall soon see. Well, there you have it. Stage is set, literally and metaphorically. Oh, spoiler alert! This isn't going to end well. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado or fuss, I present the most lamentable Roman tragedy of Titus Andronicus. Youngling, avant! Take it away, boys!
Noble patricians, patrons of my right, defend the justice of my cause with arms, and countrymen, my loving followers, plead my successor title with your swords. I am his firstborn son that was the last of all the imperial diadem of Rome, and let my father's honors leave in me, nor wrong mine age with this indignity.
Romans, friends, followers, favorers of my right, if ever Bassianus, Caesar's son, were gracious in the eyes of royal Rome, keep then this passage to the capital, and suffer not dishonor to approach the imperial seat, to virtue consecrate, to justice, continence, and nobility, but let desert in pure election shine. And Romans, fight for freedom in your choice.
Princes that strive by factions and by friends ambitiously for rule and empery, know that the people of Rome, for whom we stand a special party, have by common voice in election for the Roman empery chosen Andronicus. A nobler man, a braver warrior, lives not this day within the city walls. He by the Senate is excited home from weary wars against the barbarous Goths. Let us entreat, by honor of his name, that you withdraw you and abate your strength. Dismiss your followers, and your suitors should leave your deserts in peace and humbleness.
How fair the tribune speaks to calm my thoughts!
Marcus Andronicus, so I do rely in thy uprightness and integrity, and so I love and honor thee and thine, thy noble brother Titus and his sons, and her to whom my thoughts are humbled all, gracious Lavinia, Rome's rich ornaments, that I will here dismiss my loving friends, and to my fortune and the people's favor commit my cause in balance to be weighed.
Friends that have been thus forward in my right, I thank you all and here dismiss you all. And to the love and favor of my country commit myself, my person, and the cause. Rome, be as just and gracious unto me as I am kind and confident to thee. Open the gates and let me in.
Tribunes and me, a poor competitor.
Romans, make way! The good Andronicus, patron of virtue, Rome's best champion, successful in the battles that he fights, with honor and with fortune is returned from where he circumscribed with his sword the enemies of Rome.
Victorious in my morning weeds, O sacred receptacle of my joys, sweet cell of virtue and nobility, how many sons of mine hast thou in store that thou wilt never render to me more? Their greed in silence is the debtor want, and sleep in peace, slain in your country's wars.
Give us the proudest prisoner of the Goths, that we may hew his limbs, and on a pile for our fallen brothers sacrifice his flesh before this earthy prison of their bones. That so the shadows be not unappeased, nor we disturbed with prodigies on earth.
I give him you, the noblest that survives, the fairest son of this distressing queen.
Stay, Roman brethren! Gracious conqueror, victorious Titus! Rue the tears I shed, a mother's tears in passion for her son! And if thy sons were we are brought to Rome to beautify thy triumphs and return captive to thee into thy Roman yoke. But must my sons be slaughtered in the streets for valiant doings in their country's cause? Oh, if to fight for king and commonweal were piety in thine, it is in these. Andronicus, stain not thy tomb with blood. Wilt thou draw near the nature of the gods? Draw near them then in being merciful. Sweet mercy is nobility's true badge. Thrice noble Titus, spare my firstborn son!
Patient yourself, madam, and pardon me. These are their brethren whom you Goths beheld alive and dead, and for their brethren slain religiously they ask a sacrifice. To this your son is marked, and die he must, to appease their drumming shadows that are gone.
Away with him and make a fire straight, and with our swords upon a pile of wood, let's hew his limbs till they be clean consumed.
Oh, cruel, irreligious piety!
Was ever Scythia half so barbarous?
Oppose not Scythia to ambitious Rome. Alarbus goes to rest, and we survive to tremble under Titus' threatening looks. Then, madam, stand resolved, but hope withal the self-same gods that armed the Queen of Troy may favor Tamara, the Queen of Goths, to quit the bloody wrongs upon her foes.
See, Lord and Father, how we have performed our Roman rites. Alarbus' limbs are lopped, and entrails feed the sacrificing fire, whose smoke, like incense, doth perfume the sky. Remaineth not but to inter our brethren, and with loud laurels welcome them to Rome.
In peace and honor rest you here, my sons, secure from worldly chances and mishaps. Here no treason lurks, here no envy swells, here grow no damned grudges, here no storms, no noise but silence and eternal sleep. In peace and honor rest you here, my sons.
In peace and honor live Lord Titus long. My noble lord and father live in fame. Lo, at this tomb my tributary tears I render for my brethren's loss of grief. And at thy feet I kneel, with tears of joy shed on the earth for thy return to Rome. Bless me here with thy victorious hand.
Peace and honor! Guide Rome that hast thus lovingly reserved the cordial of mine age to glad my heart. Living you live, and live thy father's days. Fame's eternal date for virtue's praise.
Long live Lord Titus, my beloved brother, gracious triumpher in the eyes of Rome.
Thanks, gentle tribune, noble brother Marcus.
And welcome, nephews, from successful wars, you that survive and you that sleep in fame. Titus Andronicus, the people of Rome send thee by me their tribute and their trust, this palliament of white and spotless hue, and name thee an election for the empire. With these our late deceased emperor's sons. Be candidatus then, and put it on, and help to set a head on headless Rome.
A better head your glorious body fits than his that shakes thy age and feebleness. Rome! I have been thy soldier 40 years, and led my country's strength successfully, and buried 21 valiant sons. Give me a staff of honor for mine age, but not a scepter to control the world. I've already held it, lords, and held it last.
Titus, thou shalt obtain and ask the emperor.
Proud and ambitious tribune canst thou tell.
Patience, Prince Saturninus.
Romans, do me right! Patricians, draw your swords and sheathe them not till Saturninus be Rome's emperor! Andronicus, wouldst thou were shipped to hell rather than rob me of the people's hearts?
Proud Saturnine, interrupter of the good that noble-minded Titus means to thee.
Content thee, Prince. I will restore to thee people's hearts and wean them from themselves.
Andronicus, I do not flatter thee, but honor thee, and will do till I die. My faction, if thou strengthen with thy friends, I will most grateful be.
People of Rome, and people's tribunes here, I ask your voices and your suffrages. Will you bestow them friendly on Andronicus?
To gratify the good Andronicus and gratulate his safe return to Rome, the people will accept whom he admits.
Tribunes, I thank you. And the suit I make, that you create your emperor's eldest son, Lord Saturnine, whose virtues will, I hope, reflect on Rome as Titans raise on earth and ripen justice in this commonweal. Then if you will create, by my advice, crown him and say, long live our emperor.
Patricians and plebeians, we create Lord Saturninus, Rome's great emperor, and say, long live our Emperor Saturnine!
Titus Andronicus, for thy favours done to us in our election this day, I give thee thanks in part of thy deserts, and will with deeds requite thy gentleness. And for an onset, Titus, to advance thy name, an honourable family, Lavinia, will I make my empress, Rome's royal mistress, mistress of my heart, and in the sacred pantheon her espouse. Tell me, Andronicus, doth this motion please thee?
It doth, my worthy lord, and in this match I hold me highly honored of your grace. And here in sight of Rome to Saturnine, king and commander of our common weal, I consecrate my chariots, my sword, and my prisoners. Presents well worthy Rome's imperial lord.
Thanks, noble Titus, father of my life. How proud I am of thee and of thy gifts. Rome shall record, and when I do forget the least of these unspeakable deserts, Romans, forget your fealty to me.
Now, madam, are you prisoner to an emperor? To him that for your honor and your state will use you nobly, and your followers.
A goodly lady, trust me, of the hue that I would choose, were I to choose anew. Clear up, fair queen, thy cloudy countenance. Though chance of war hath wrought this change of cheer, thou comest not to be made a scorn in Rome. Princely shall be thy usage every way. Rest on my word, and let not discontent daunt all your hopes. Madam, he comforts you can make you greater than the Queen of Goths. Lavinia, you are not displeased with this?
Not I, my lord. Sith true nobility warrants such words in princely courtesy.
Thanks, sweet Lavinia. Romans, let us go. Ransomless here, we set our prisoners free. Proclaim our honors lords with trump and drum.
Lord Titus, by your leave, this maid is mine.
How, sir? Are you in earnest then, my lord?
Aye, noble Titus, and resolved withal.
This prince in justice seizeth but his own.
And that he will and shall if Lucius live.
Traitors in arms! Where is the emperor's guard? Treason, my lord! Lavinia's surprised!
Surprised by whom?
By him that justly made there his betrothed from all the world away.
Brothers, how to convey her hence away? With my sword I'll keep this door safe.
Follow, my lord. I'll soon have her back.
My lord, you pass not here.
What villain boy bars me my way in Rome?
Lucius, help! Lucius!
My lord, you are unjust. And more than so, in wrongful quarrel, you have slain your son.
Nor thou nor he are any sons of mine. My sons would never so dishonor me. Traitor, restore Lavinia to the emperor.
Dead, if you will, but not to be his wife. That is another's lawful promised love.
No, Titus, no! The emperor needs her not, nor her, nor thee, nor any of thy stock. I'll trust by leisure him that mocks me once, thee never, nor thy traitorous haughty sons, confederates all thus to dishonor me. But go thy ways, go! A valiant son-in-law thou shalt enjoy, one fits to bandy with thy lawless sons. And therefore, lovely Tamara, Queen of Goths, if thou be pleased with this, my sudden choice, behold, Tamara, I choose thee for my bride, and will create the Empress of Rome. Speak, Queen of Goths. Dost thou applaud my choice?
If Saturnine advance the Queen of Goths, a handmaid will she be to his desires, a loving nurse, a mother to his youth.
Ascend, fair queen. Pantheon, lords, accompany your noble emperor and his lovely bride. There shall we consummate our spousal rites.
Titus, when wert thou wont to walk alone? Dishonored thus and challenged of wrongs?
Oh, Titus, see what thou hast done. In a bad quarrel slain a virtuous son.
No, foolish tribune, no! No son of mine, nor thou nor these confederates in the deed that hath dishonored all our family.
But let us give him burial as becomes. Give Mutius burial with our brethren.
Traitors away! He rests not in this tomb. Here none but soldiers and Rome's servitors repose in fame, none basely slain in brawls. Bury him where you can. He comes not here.
My lord, this is impiety in you. He must be buried with his brethren.
And shall! For him we will accompany.
And shall. What villain was it spake that word?
He that would vouch it in any place but here!
Or would you bury him in my despite?
No, noble Titus, but entreat of thee to pardon Mutius and to bury him.
Marcus, even thou hast struck upon my crest, and with these boys mine honor thou hast wounded. My foes, I do rebuke you, every one! So trouble me no more, but get you gone.
He is not with himself. Let us withdraw. Not I! Till Mutius' bones be buried!
Brothers, for in that name doth nature plead.
Father, for in that name doth nature speak.
Speak thou no more, if all the rest will speed.
Founded Titus, more than half my soul.
Dear father, soul and substance of us all.
Suffer thy brother Marcus to inter his noble nephew here in virtue's nest that died in honor in Lavinia's cause. Thou art a Roman. Be not barbarous. Let not young Mutius then that was thy joy be barred his entrance here.
Rise, Marcus, rise. The dismalest day is this that e'er I saw, to be dishonored by my sons in Rome. We'll bury him, and bury me the next.
Oceanus, you have claimed your prize. God give you joy, sir, of your gallant bride.
And you of yours, my lord. I say no more, nor wish no less. And so I take my leave.
Traitor! If Rome have law, or we have power, thou and thy faction shall repent this rape.
Rape, call you it, my lord, to seizeth my own, my true betrothed love, and now my wife. But let the laws of Rome determine all. Meanwhile, I am possessed of that is mine.
'Tis good, sir. You are very short with us, but if we live, we'll be as sharp with you.
My lord, what I have done as best I may, answer I must and shall do with my life. This noble gentleman, Lord Titus here, is in opinion and in honor wronged, that in the rescue of Lavinia he did with his own hand slay his youngest son in zeal to you. Receive him then to favor, Saturnine.
Prince Bassianus, leave to plead my deeds. 'Tis thou and those that have dishonored me. Rome and the righteous heavens be my judge how I have loved and honored Saturnine.
My worthy lord, if ever Tamara were gracious in those princely eyes of thine, then hear me speak indifferently for all, and at my suit, sweet, pardon what is past.
What, madam? Be dishonored openly and basely put it up without revenge?
Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonor you. But on mine honor dare I undertake for good Lord Titus innocence in all, whose fury not dissembled speaks his griefs. Therefore at my suit look graciously on you. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose. Be one at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents. You are but newly planted in your throne, lest then the people and patricians too, upon a just survey, take Titus' part and so supplant you, for ingratitude yield at entreats. And then let me alone. I'll find a day to massacre them all, and raise their faction and their family. The cruel father and his traitorous sons, to whom I sue it for my dear son's life, and make them know what 'tis to let a queen kneel in the streets and beg for grace in vain. Come, come, sweet emperor. Come, Andronicus. Take up this good old man, and cheer the heart that dies in tempest of thy angry frown.
Rise, Titus, rise. My empress hath prevailed.
I thank your majesty, and her, my lord.
And let it be mine honor, good my lord, that I have reconciled your friends and you. For you, Prince Bassianus, I have passed my word and promise to the emperor that you will be more mild and tractable. And fear not, lords, and you, Lavinia, by my advice, all humbled on your knees, you shall ask pardon of his majesty.
We do, and vow to heaven and to his highness that what we did was mildly as we might, tendering our sister's honor and our own.
That on mine honor here I do protest.
Away, and talk not, trouble us no more.
Nay, nay, sweet emperor. We must all be friends. The tribune and his nephews kneel for grace. I will not be denied. Sweetheart, look back.
Marcus, for thy sake and thy brother's here, and at my lovely Tamara's entreats, I do remit these young men's heinous faults. Lavinia, though you left me like a churl, I found a friend. Come! If the emperor's court can feast two brides, you are my guest, Lavinia, and your friends. This day shall be a love day. Tamara.
Tomorrow, and it please your majesty, to hunt the panther in the heart with me.
Be it so, Titus, and Gramercy too.
Now climbeth Tamara Olympus' top, safe at a fortune shot and sits aloft, secure of thunder's crack or lightning flash, advanced above pale envy's threatening reach, and when the golden sun salutes the morn, and having gilt the ocean with its gleams, gallops the zodiac in its glistering coach, overlooking the highest peering hills. So Tamara, upon her wit doth earthly honor wait, and virtue stumps and trembles at her frown. Then Aaron, arm thy heart and fit thy thoughts, to mount aloft thy imperial mistress, to mount her pitch whom thy in triumph long, hast prisoner held, fettered in amorous chains, away with slavish beads and servile thoughts. I will be bright and shine in pearl and gold, to wait upon my new-made empress. To wait, said I, to wanton with this queen, this goddess, this Semiramis, this siren that will charm Rome Saturnine and see his shipwreck and his commonweals. Hello, what storm is this?
Byron, thy years want wit, thy wit wants edge, and manners to improve where I am graced, and may, for aught thou knowest, affected be.
Demetrius, thou dost overween in all, so in this to bear me down with brace. 'Tis not the difference of a year or two, makes me less gracious or thee more fortunate. I am as able and as fit as thou to serve and to deserve my mistress' grace, and that my sword upon thee shall approve, and plead my passions for Lavinia's love.
Clubs, these lovers cannot keep the peace.
Why, boy, although our mother unadvised gave you a dancing rapier by your side, are you so desperate grown to threat your friends? Go to, have your laugh glued within your sheath till you know better how to handle it.
Meanwhile, sir, with the little skill I have, full well shalt thou perceive how much I dare.
Aye, boy, grow ye so brave!
How now, lord, so near the emperor's palace, dare you draw and maintain such a quarrel openly? Full well I walk the ground of all this grudge. I would not for 1,000,000 of gold, but were the cause known to them it most concerns, nor would your noble mother, for much more, be so dishonored in the court of Rome. For shame, put up!
Not I, till I have sheathed my rapier in his bosom, and withal thrust these reproachful speeches down his throat, that he hath breathed in my dishonor here.
For that I'm prepared and full resolved. Foul-spoken coward that thunders with thy tongue, and with thy weapon nothing darest perform.
Away, I say! Now by the gods that warlike Prosidor, this petty brabble will undo us all. What? And what you think how dangerous it is to jet upon a prince's right? What? Has Lavinia become so loose and Bassianus so degenerate that for such love quarrels may be broached without controlment, justice, or revenge? Young lords, beware! Should the empress know of this discord's ground, the music would not please.
I care not. I knew she and all the world. I love Lavinia more than all the world.
Youngling, learn thou to make some meaner choice.
Lavinia is thine elder brother's hope.
What, are ye mad? Or know ye not in Rome how furious and impatient they be, and cannot brook competitors in love? I tell you, lords, you do but plot your deaths by this device.
Aaron, 1,000 deaths would I propose to achieve her whom I love.
To achieve her how?
Why makest thou it so strange? She is a woman, therefore may be wooed. She is a woman, therefore may be won. She is Lavinia, therefore must be loved.
Well, then it seems a certain snatch or so would serve your turns.
Aye, so the turn was served.
Aaron thus hit it.
Would you had hit it too, then we would be done with this ado. Why, harkye, lords, why are you such fools to square for it? Would it not offend you then, that both should speed?
Faith, not me.
Nor me, so I were one.
For shame, be friends and join for that you jar. 'Tis policy and stratagem must do, and so must you resolve. My lords, a solemn hunting is in hand. There the lovely Roman ladies troop. The forest walks are wide and spacious. Many unfrequented plots there are fitted for a kind of rape or villainy. Single you thither then this dainty doe, and strike her home by force, if not by words. This way or not at all, stand you in hope. Come, come, our empress with her sacred wit, to vengeance and villainy consecrate. We will acquaint with all that we intend.
It is now the morning after the wedding of Lavinia and Bassianus, and the Emperor Saturninus has decreed a hunt in their honor. The revelers assemble their weapons of choice, crossbows and bolts, grenades and kalashnikovs, springes to catch woodcocks. In this wood primeval, Tamara and Aaron will find themselves a very nice trysting place. And in this forsaken spot, those dogged boys, Demetrius and Chiron, are going to set a trap for the unsuspecting Lavinia.
The hunt is up! The morn is bright and gray. The fields are fragrant and the woods are green. Uncouple here, and let us make a bay that all the court may echo with the noise. Sons, let it be your charge as it is ours to attend the Emperor's person carefully. I have been troubled in my sleep this night. The dawning day new comfort hath inspired. Many good morrows to your majesty. Madam, to you as many and as good. I promise in your grace a hunter's meal.
Come on then, horse and chariots let us have, and to our sport. Madam, now shall you see our Roman hunting.
I have dogs, my lord, will rouse the proudest panther in the chase and climb the highest promontory top.
And I have horse will follow where the game makes way and run like swallows o'er the plain.
Chiron, we hunt not we with horse nor hound, but hope to pluck a dainty doe to ground.
He that had wit would think that I had none, to bury so much gold under a tree and never after to inherit it. Let him who thinks of me so abjectly know, this gold must coin a stratagem. So repose, sweet gold, from their unrest, that have their alms in the empress' chest.
My lovely Aaron, wherefore look'st thou sad, when everything doth make a gleeful boast? The birds chant melody on every bush. The snake lies rolled in the cheerful sun. The green leaves quiver with the cooling wind and make a checkered shadow on the ground. Under their sweet shade, Aaron, let us sit. We may each wreathed in the other's arms, our pastimes done, possess a golden slumber, whilst hounds and horns and sweet melodious birds be unto us as is a nurse's song of lullaby to bring her babe asleep.
Though, madam, Venus governs your desires, Saturn is dominator over mine. What signifies my deadly standing eye, my cloudy melancholy? No, madam, these are no venereal signs. Vengeance is in my head, death in my hands. Blood and revenge are hammering in my heart. Heart, Tamara, empress of my soul, that never hopes more heaven rest in thee. This is the day of doom for Bassianus. His Philomel must lose her tongue today. His sons take pillage of her chastity and wash their hands in Bassianus' blood. Seest thou this letter? Take it up, I pray thee, and give the king this fatal plotted scroll. Now question me no more, we are a spy.
Oh, my sweet Moor, sweeter to me than life.
No more, great empress. Bassianus comes. Be cross with him, and I'll go fetch thy sons, to back thy quarrels whatsoe'er they be.
Who have we here? Rome's royal empress, unfurnished of her well-beseeming troop? Or is it Diana, habited like her, who hath abandoned her holy groves to see the general hunting in this forest?
Saucy controller of our private steps, had I the power that some say Dian had, thy temples should be planted presently with horns as was Actaeon's, and the hounds should drive upon thy new transformed limbs, unmannerly intruder as thou art.
Under your patience, gentle empress, 'tis thought you have a goodly gift in horning, and to be doubted that your Moor and you are singled forth to try experiments. Jove shield your husband from his hounds today. 'Tis pity they should take him for a stag.
Believe me, queen, your swarth Cimmerian doth make your honor of his body's hue, spotted, detested, and abominable. Why are you sequestered from all your train, dismounted from your snow-white goodly steed, and wandered hither to an obscure plot accompanied but with a barbarous Moor, if foul desire had not conducted you?
And being intercepted in your sport, great reason my noble lord be rated for sauciness. I pray you, let us hence. Let her joy her raven-colored love. This valley fits their purpose passing well.
The king, my brother, shall have note of this.
Oh, good king, to be so mightily abused.
Why have I patience to endure all this?
How now, dear sovereign and our gracious mother? Why doth your highness look so pale and wan?
Have I not reason, think you, to look pale? These two have ticed me hither to this place. A barren, detested vale, you see it is. They told me that here, at dead time of the night, 1,000 fiends, 1,000 hissing snakes, 10,000 swelling toads, as many urchins, would make such fearful and confused cries as any mortal body hearing them should straight fall mad, or else die suddenly. No sooner had they told me this hellish tale, but straight they told me they would bind me here and leave me to this miserable death. And then they called me foul adulteress, lascivious Goth, and all the bitterest terms that ever ear did hear to such effect. And had you not by wondrous fortune come, this vengeance on me had they executed. Revenge it, as you love your mother's life, or be ye not henceforth called my children.
This is a witness that I am thy son.
And this for me, struck home to show my strength.
Nice come, Semiramis! Nay, barbarous Tamara, for no name fits thy nature but thy own.
Give me thy poniard. You shall know, my boys, your mother's hand shall right your mother's wrong.
Stay, madam. Here is more belongs to her. First thrash the corn, then after burn the straw. This minion stood upon her chastity, upon her nuptial vow, her loyalty, and with that quaint hope braves your mightiness. And shall she carry this unto her grave?
And if she do, why would I warn you? Drag hence her husband to some secret hole, and make his dead trunk pillow to our lust.
But when you have the honey you desire, let not this wasp outlive us both to sting.
I warrant you, madam, we will make that sure. Now come, mistress, perforce we shall enjoy that nice preserved honesty of yours.
Oh, thou bearest a woman's face! I will not hear her speak. Away with her!
Sweet lords, entreat her, hear me but a word.
Listen, fair madam. Let it be your glory to see her tears, but be your heart to them as unrelenting flint to drops of rain.
When did the tiger's young ones teach the dam? Do not learn her wrath. She taunted thee. The milk thou suckst from her did turn to marble. Yet every mother breeds not sons alike. Oh, do thou entreat her. Show a woman pity.
What? Wouldst thou have me prove myself a bastard?
Oh, be to me, though thy hard heart say no, nothing so kind, but something pitiful.
I know not what it means. Away with her!
Let me teach thee! For my father's sake that gave thee life when well he might have slain thee.
Hadst thou ne'er in person offended me, even for his sake am I pitiless. Remember, boys, I poured forth tears in vain to save your brother from the sacrifice. But fierce Andronicus would not relent. Therefore, away, and use her as you will. The worse to her, the better loved of me.
Behold, and gentle queen, and with thine own hands, kill me in this place.
Next thou then, bondwoman, let me go!
This present death I beg. And one thing more, the womanhood denies my tongue to tell. Keep me from their worse than killing lust, and tumble me into some loathsome pit where never man's eye may behold my body. Do this, but be a charitable murderer.
So, should I rob my sweet sons of their fee? No, let them satisfy their lust on thee.
Away, for thou hast sustained us here too long.
No priest! No womanhood! Confusion, fool, beastly creature!
Then I'll stop your mouth. Bring thou her husband. This is the hole where ever bid us hide.
Farewell, my sons. See that you make her sure. Ne'er let my heart know merry cheer indeed, till all the Andronici be made away. Now will I hence to seek my lovely moon. Let my spleenful sons this whore deflower.
Come on, my lords. Better foot before. Straight will I take you to that lonesome pit where I espy the tender cats asleep.
My sight is very dull when Aaron moans.
And mine, I promise you were not for shame. Well, I could leave our sport to sleep a while.
What? Art thou fallen? What subtle hole is this? Whose mouth is covered with rude growing briars, upon whose leaves are drops of new shed blood. Speak, brother, hast thou hurt thee with the fall?
Oh, brother, with the dismal sound big hurt that ever I with sight made hearts lament.
Now I will fetch the king to find him here, that he thereby may have a likely guess how these were they that made away his brother.
Why dost not comfort me and help me out from this unhallowed and blood-stained home?
My heart suspects more than mine eye can see.
To prove thou hast a true divining heart, Aaron and thou look down into this den and see a fearful sight of blood and death.
Aaron is gone.
For Bassianus lies in ruin here, all on a heap like to a slaughtered lamb. Oh, brother, help me with thy fainting hand.
Reach me thy hand that I may help thee out. I have no strength to pluck thee to the brink. Along with me, I'll see what hole is here, and what he is that now is leaped into it. Say, who art thou that lately didst descend into this gaping hollow of the earth?
The happy son of old Andronicus, brought hither in a most unlucky hour to brother Bassianus dead!
My brother dead? I know thou dost but jest. He and his lady both are at the lodge. 'Tis not an hour since I left him there.
Where is my lord the king?
Here, Tamara, though grieved with killing grief.
Where is thy brother Bassianus?
Now to the bottom dost thou search my wound. Poor Bassianus lies here murdered.
Then all too late I bring this fatal writ.
And if we miss to meet him handsomely, sweet huntsman, Bassianus 'tis we mean. Do thou so much as dig the grave for him, thou know'st our meaning. Look for thy reward among the nettles of the elder tree which overshades the mouth of that same pit where we decree to bury Bassianus. Do this and purchase us thy lasting friend. O Tamara, was ever heard the like?
This is the pit, and this the elder tree.
Look, sirs, if you can find the huntsman out that should have murdered Bassianus here.
My gracious lord, here's the bag of gold.
2 of thy whelps, fell curs of bloody kind, have here bereft my brother of his life. Sirs, drag them from the pit unto the prison. There let them bide until we have devised some never heard of torturing pain for them.
High Emperor, upon my feeble knee I beg this boon with tears not lightly shed, that this fell fault of my accursed sons, accursed if the fault be proved in them.
If it be proved, you see it is apparent. Who found this letter? Tamara, was it you?
Andronicus himself did take it up.
I did, my lord. Yet let me be their bail. For by my father's reverend tomb I vow they shall be ready at your highness' will to answer their suspicion with their lives.
Thou shalt not bail them. See, thou follow me. Some bring the murdered body, some the murderers. Let them not speak a word, the guilt is plain. For by my soul, were there worse end than death, that end upon them should be executed.
Andronicus, I will entreat the king. Fear not thy sons. They shall do well enough.
Come, Lucius, come. Stay not to talk with them.
So now go tell, and if thy tongue can speak, who 'twas that cut thy tongue and ravished thee.
Write down thy mind, bewray thy meaning so, and if thy stumps will let thee play the scribe.
See how with signs and tokens she can scrawl.
Go home, call for sweet water, wash thy hands.
She hath no tongue to call, nor hands to wash, and so let's leave her to her silent walks.
And 'twere my case, I should go hang myself.
If thou hadst hands to help me knit the cord.
Who is this? My niece, if I do dream, but all my wealth would wake me. If I do wake, some planet strike me down, that I may slumber in eternal sleep. Speak, gentle niece. What stern and gentle hands have locked and hewed and made thy body bare of her two branches, those sweet ornaments whose circling shadows kings have sought to sleep in? Why dost not speak to me? Shall I speak for thee? Shall I say 'tis so? Oh, that I knew thy heart and knew the beast, that I might rail at him to ease my mind. Sorrow concealed like an oven soft that burn the heart to cinders where it is. Come, let us go and make thy father blind, for such a sight will blind a father's eyes. 1 hour's storm will drown the fragments fleece. What will whole months of tears thy father's eyes? Do not draw back, for we will mourn with thee. Oh, can our mourning ease thy misery?
Well now, let's not feel too sorry for Lavinia. At least now she'll never become one of those boring old biddies who prattle on about her rheumatism and her lumbago. and she can still hum the tune even if she can't sing the words. And also on the upside, charades just got a hell of a lot more interesting. Meanwhile, Titus is forced to plead for the lives of his sons before the tribunes. More and more irony. When you have blood in your eye, however, it tends to filter out all the other features of the psychic landscape except revenge. Titus is Rome's favorite son, and Saturninus owes his throne to him. But Tamara is pulling the emperor's strings now. But suffice it to say that Saturninus will be expecting a round of applause, or should I say a big hand, before all is said and done.
Hear me, great fathers. Noble tribute, stay. The pity of mine age, whose youth was spent in dangerous wars whilst you securely slept. For all my blood in Rome's great quarrels shed. For all those frosty nights that I have watched. For these bitter tears which now you see filling the aged wrinkles in my cheeks. Be pitiful to my condemned sons whose souls are not corrupted as his thoughts. For 22 sons I never wept because they died in honor's lofty bed. For these tribunes, in the dust I write my heart's deep languor, and my soul's sad tears. I'll let my tears stanch the earth's dry appetite, my son's sweet blood will make it shame and blush. O earth, I will befriend thee more with rain that shall distill from these two ancient urns, and youthful April shall with all the showers. In summer's drought I'll drop upon thee still. In winter with warm tears I'll melt the snow and keep eternal springtime on thy face, so thou refuse to drink my dear son's blood. O reverend tributes, gentle aged men, unbind my sons, reverse the doom of death, and let me say that never wept before my tears are now prevailing orators.
Oh, my noble father, you lament in vain. The tribunes hear you not, no man is by, and you recount your sorrows to a stone.
Ah, Lucius, for thy brothers, let me plead. Great tribunes, once more, I entreat of you.
My gracious lord, no tribune hears you speak.
Well, 'tis no matter, man. If they did hear, they would not mark me. If they did mark, they would not pity me. Yet plead I must. Therefore I tell my sorrows to the stones. The stone is soft as wax, and tribunes more hard than stones. The stone is silent and offendeth not, and tribunes with their tongues doom men to death. But wherefore stands thou with thy weapon drawn?
To rescue my two brothers from their death, for which attempt the judges have pronounced mine everlasting doom of banishment.
Happy man, they have befriended thee! My foolish Lucius, dost thou not perceive that Rome is but a wilderness of tigers? Tigers must prey, and Rome affords no prey but me and mine. How happy art thou then from these devourers to be banished? Who comes with our brother Marcus here?
Titus, prepare thy ancient eyes to weep, or if not so, thy noble heart to break. I bring consuming sorrow to thine age.
Will it consume me? Let me see it then.
This was thy daughter.
Why, Marcus, so she is!
Ay me, this object kills me.
Faint-hearted boy, arise and look upon her! Speak of it. What accursed hand hath made thee handless in thy father's sight? What fool hath added water to the sea, or poured a fire of bright burning Troy. My grief was at the height before thou camest, and now like the Nile, it disdaineth bounds. Give me a sword, I'll chop off my hands too, for they have fought for Rome and all in vain. In boundless prayer they've been held up, and they have served me to effectless use. Now the only service I require is that one will help to chop the other.
Speak, gentle sister, who hath martyred thee?
Oh, that delightful engine of her thoughts is torn forth from that pretty hollow cage.
Oh, say thou for her who has done this deed.
Thus I found her, straying in the park, seeking to hide herself as doth the deer that hath received some unrepaired wound.
It was my dear, and he that wounded her hath hurt me more than had he killed me dead. For now I stand as one upon a rock environed with the wilderness of sea. This way to death my wretched sons are gone. Here stands my other son, a banished man, and here my brother weeping at my woes. But that which gives my soul the greatest spurn is dear Lavinia. Dearer than my soul. Oh, thou hast no hands to wipe away thy tears. No tongue to tell me who hath martyred thee. Thy husband, he is dead. And for his death thy brothers are condemned and dead by this. Gentle Lavinia, let me kiss thy lips, or make some sign how I may do thee ease. Shall I, good uncle, and thy brother Lucius and thou and I sit round about some fountain, looking all downwards to behold our cheeks, how they are stained, as meadows yet not dry with miry slime left on the mire flood? Or shall we cut our hands like thine? Or bite our tongues and in dumb shows pass the remainder of our hateful days? What shall we do? Let have our tongues plot some device of further misery to make us wonder that in time to come.
Titus Andronicus, my lord the emperor sends thee this word. If thou love thy sons, let Lucius Marcus or thyself, old man, cut off one of your hands and send it to the king. He for the same will send thee hither both thy sons, alive, and that will be the ransom for their faults.
Oh, gracious emperor, oh, gentle Aaron, did ever raven so sing like a lark? With all my heart I'll send along my hand, good Aaron, wilt thou have to chop it off?
Stay, father, for that noble hand of thine that hath thrown down so many enemies shall not be sent. My hand will serve the turn. My youth can better spare my blood than you, and therefore mine shall save my brothers' lives.
Which of your hands hath not defended Rome and reared aloft the bloody battle axe? My hand hath been but idle. Let it serve to ransom my two nephews from their death.
Nay, agree whose hand shall go along, for fear they die before their pardon come.
My hand shall go.
My hand it shall not go. Sweet father, if I shall be thought thy son, let me redeem my brothers both from death.
And for our father's sake and our mother's care, now let me show a brother's love to thee.
Agree between you, I will spare my hand.
Then I'll go fetch an axe.
But I will use the axe.
Come hither, Aaron. I'll deceive them both. Lend me thy hand, I will give thee mine.
If this be called deceit, I'll be honest, and whilst I live, never deceive men so.
Now stay your strife. What shall be is dispatched. Good Aaron, give his majesty my hand. Tell him it was a hand that watered him from thousand dangers, bid him bury it. As for my sons, say, I account of them as jewels purchased at an easy price.
I go, Andronicus, and for thy hand keep by and by to have thy sons with thee. Their heads, I mean. How this villainy doth fat me with the very thoughts of it. Let fools do good, and fair men call for grace. Aaron will have his soul black like his face.
Oh, here I lift this one hand up to heaven, and bow this feeble ruin to the earth. If any power pities wretched tears, to that I call. What wilt thou kneel with me? Do then, dear heart, for heaven shall hear our prayers. Or with our sighs we'll breathe the welkin dim and stain the sun with fog, as sometimes clouds when they do hug him in their melting bosoms.
Oh, brother, speak with possibilities and do not break into these deep extremes.
And are my sorrows deep, having no bottom? Then be my passions bottomless with them.
Yet let reason govern thy lament.
If there were reason, For these miseries, then into limits could I bind my woes. When heaven doth weep, doth not the earth o'erflow? If the winds rage, does not the sea wax mad, threatening the welkin with his big swollen face? And wilt thou have a reason for this coil? I am the sea. Hark how her sighs do blow. She is the weeping welkin, I the earth. Then must my sea be moved with her sighs. Then must my earth with her continual tears become a deluge overflowed and drowned. For why? My bowels cannot hide her miseries, but like a drunken must I vomit them. Then give me leave, for losers shall have leave to ease their stomachs with their bitter tongues.
Worthy Andronicus, ill art thou repaid for that good hand thou sent'st to the emperor. Here are the heads of thy two noble sons, and here's thy hand in scorn to be sent back. Thy griefs their sports, thy resolution mocked, that woe is me to think upon thy woes.
Be my heart an ever-burning hell. These miseries are more than may be borne.
That this sight should make so deep a wound, and yet detested life not shrink thereat.
Alas, sweet girl, and kisses comfortless as frozen water to a starved snake.
What will this fearful slumber have in end?
Now, farewell flattery. Die, Andronicus. Thou dost not slumber. See thy two sons' heads, thy warlike hand, thy other mangled daughter there, thy other banished son with this dismal sight struck pale and bloodless. And thy brother, I, even like a stony image, cold and numb. Ah, now no more will I control thy grief. Rend off thy silver hair, thy other hand gnawing with thy teeth, and be this dismal sight the closing up of our most wretched eyes. Now is the time to storm! Art thou still? Why dost thou laugh if it's not at this hour?
I have not another tear to shed. Besides, sorrow is an enemy, and would usurp upon my watery eyes and make them blind with tributary tears? Then which way shall I find revenge's cave? These two heads do seem to speak to me, and threaten me I shall never come to bliss, till all these mischiefs be returned again, e'en in the throats that have committed them. Come, let me see what task I have to do. You heavy people, suckle me about, that I may swear unto my soul, and turn me to each one of you, and right your wrongs. Thou is made. Come, brother, take a head. And in this hand the other I will bear. Lavinia, thou shalt be employed. These arms. Bear thou my hand, sweet wench, between thy teeth. As for thee, boy, I'll get thee from my sight. Thou art an exile, and I must not stay. Hie to the Goths, and raise an army there. And if you love me as I think you do, let us kiss and part, for we have much to do.
Farewell, Andronicus, my noble father, the woefulest man that ever lived in Rome. Now will I to the Goths and raise a power to be revenged on Rome and Saturn.
Okay. Well, we don't normally do this here, but since you're all still acclimating yourselves to your new environment, I'm going to allow you a short break. consider it my one good deed for this millennium. You will find a nice variety of soft drinks available for purchase in the lobby. Or if you prefer something with a little more bite, I can recommend the blood or yellow bile. Both very splendid vintages. All right, think of them as red and white wine if it makes you feel better. Now go, you don't have much time. But don't go far. As if you could. Welcome back. When we send our soldiers off to war, we wrap their bodies in Kevlar. We arm them with knives and guns and bullets and bombs. But we do nothing to prepare them for the time when the thin veneer of pious platitudes and hollow slogans is stripped away like wrapping paper ripped from a box of pain, and the darkness at the heart of the enterprise is revealed. We've taught them how to kill, but not how to live with being killers. They come home with shrapnel wounds, missing limbs, but the most grievous injuries are the invisible ones, the psychic scars. This is the nature of war. War drowns out the polite fictions we tell ourselves, our soothing collective lullabies of culture and civilization. War reveals the stark naked truth that the progress we've made since rising from the primordial muck can be measured in mere millimeters. C'est la guerre, c'est la vie, c'est la mort. Let us watch now as Titus Andronicus, who has come home from war, finds a battleground more virulent than any he left behind. Indeed, he may come to regard the battlefields of war as places of comparative peace.
So, now sit, and look you eat no more than will preserve just so much strength in us as will revenge these bitter woes of ours. Marcus, unknit that sorrow wreathed knot. Thy niece and I, poor creatures, want our hands and cannot passionate our tenfold grief with folded arms. This poor right hand of mine is left to tyrannize upon my breast, to when my heart, all mad with misery, beats in this hollow prison of my flesh, and thus I thump it down. Thou map of woe, that thus doth talk in signs. When thy poor heart beats with outrageous beating, thou canst not strike it thus to make it still. Wound it with sighing, girl. Kill it with groans. Or get thee some little knife between thy teeth. And just against thy heart, make thou a hole, that all the tears that thy poor eyes let fall may run into that sink, and soaking in, drown the lamenting fool in sea salt tears.
Fie, brother, fie. Teach her thus not to lay such violent hands upon her tender life.
How now? Has sorrow made thee dote already? Oh, handle not the theme to talk of hands, lest we remember still we have none. As if we should forget we had no hands if Marcus did not name the word of hands. Come, let's fall to. Gentle girl, eat this. There is no drink. Hark, Marcus, what she says. I can interpret all her martyred signs. She says she drinks no other drink but tears. Speechless complainer, I will learn thy thought. Thou shalt not sigh, nor hold thy stumps to heaven, nor wink, nor nod, nor kneel, nor make a sign. But I of these will wrest an alphabet, and by still practice, learn to know thy meaning. Dost thou strike at Lucius with thy knife?
At that I have killed, my lord, a fly.
Out on thee, murderer! Thou killst my heart! A deed of death done on an innocent becomes not Titus' grandson. Get thee gone! I see thou art not for my company.
Alas, my lord, I have but killed a fly.
But how? If that fly had a father and a mother, how would he hang his slender gilded wings and buzz lamenting doings from the air? Poor honest fly, with his pretty buzzing melody, came here to make us merry. And thou hast killed him.
Pardon me, sir. Was a black ill-favored fly, like to the Empress Moore. Therefore I killed him.
Oh. 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 Well, pardon me for reprehending thee, for thou hast done a charitable deed. Give me thy knife. I will insult on him, flattering myself as if he were the Moor come purposely hither to poison me. That's for thyself. And that's for Tamara, Sirrah! And yet I think we are not brought so low, but that between us we can kill a fly that comes in likeness of a coal black Moor.
Alas, poor man. Grief is so wrought on him he mistakes false shadows for true substances.
Come, take away. Lavinia, go with me. I'll to thy closet and go read with these sad stories chanced in the times of old. Come, boy, go with me. Thy sight is young, and thou shalt read when mine begin to dazzle.
They say that time heals all wounds. Perhaps, but sometimes time is the Roman soldier with the mallet in his hand, pounding the nails deeper into the cross. Some time has passed now, and Tamara is pregnant, and all of Rome is a-twitter in anticipation of the arrival of the imperial heir. Meanwhile, at Titus's house, Lavinia is in a funk, realizing that show and tell no longer holds any options for her. How can she convey the story of her dishonor? She seizes upon her nephew's school books, but she's not going to enroll in any education courses in the adult classes at the university, so what does she have in mind? And what will Titus do if he learns the truth? Does he have further down to go? Will his mind be off to the races? Will his cup of madness overflow? Will insanity slip its traces? Well, I may have a few theories, and you might have a few more, but to answer all of our queries, we must move on to Act 4.
Help, Grandsire, help! My Aunt Lavinia follows me everywhere. I know not why. Good Uncle Marcus, see how swift she comes. Alas, sweet aunt, I know not what you mean.
Stand by me, Lucius. Do not fear thine aunt.
How now, Lavinia? Marcus, what means this? Some book there is that she desires to see. Which is it, these of a girl? Open them, boy. Lucius, what book is that she tosses so?
Grandsire, 'tis Ovid's Metamorphoses. My mother gave it me. Soft how busily she turns the leaves. What would she find? Lavinia, shall I read? This is the tragic tale of Philomel, and treats of Tereus' treason in his rape.
See, brothers, see. Note how she quotes the leaves.
Lavinia, wert thou thus surprised, sweet girl? Ravished and wronged as Philomela was? Forced in the ruthless, vast and gloomy woods? See, high such a place there is where we did hunt.
Oh, why should nature build so foul a den unless the gods delight in tragedies?
Hold! I have to interrupt here. Let's have a quick show of hands, everyone. How many of you thought high school was hell? Well, now hell is high school, so pay attention, class. There may be a quiz. Shakespeare alludes here to a story from the Roman poet Ovid. It is the story of a woman named Philomel and her rape by one Tereus. Now, Elizabethan audiences would have known this tale and understood its meaning here. You, however, think 50 Shades of Grey is a classic, so here's this Cliff Notes version. Once upon a time, there were 3 princesses. two princesses, sorry. Philomel and her sister Procne, also her BFF. Their dad was Pandion, who was the king of Athens. Now one day, Pandion offered Tereus, the king of Thrace, his daughter Procne's hand in marriage. Now this was her destiny, after all, ever since she was born without a penis. You see, in those days, a woman was her father's property until she became her husband's property, and her opinions in the matter were neither wanted nor were they asked for. Yeah, so, everything went along very well at first. Procne promptly knocked one out of the park, producing a son and heir named Titus after her very first at-bat. She missed her sister Philomel, though, and begged her husband Tereus to go to Athens and bring her back for a visit. Well, when Tereus went to Athens and saw Philomel, he desired her, he wanted her, he lusted after her. But Philomel resisted his advances. But for Tereus, no was a form of foreplay, so he raped her. And then, to add injury to injury, he cut out her tongue. Literally speechless, Philomel was imprisoned in a hut in the woods. Now, at this point, Tereus goes back to Thrace and tells Procne that her sister died at sea. Now, as fate would have it, there was a loom in this hut, and on it Philomel weaved a tapestry depicting her rape and somehow managed to get it back to Procne. Now, when Procne found out her sister was alive, she sailed immediately to Athens, found the hut in the woods, and rescued Philomel. Now, at this point, all Procne wants to do is get revenge on Tereus. So she goes back to the palace, hugs her infant son, Itis, one last time, then immediately plunges a knife into his breast. And with Philomel's help, she cuts his body into pieces and simmers them in a bronze kettle with onions, carrots, and seasoned with a soupçon of spite. Now, this baleful brew is served to Tereus, who immediately gulps it right down and thinks it is absolutely delicious. And when he asks if there was dessert, immediately Philomel comes out from hiding and drops his son Itis's bloody head onto Tereus's plate. Oh, sweet, sweet revenge. And now back to our story.
Make signs, sweet girl, for here are none but friends. What Roman lord it was just do the deed?
Look here, brother. Lavinia, look here. The sandy plot is plain. Guide, if thou canst, this after me when I have written my name without the help of any hand at all. Write thou, good niece. Heaven guide thy pen to print thy sorrows plain, that we may know the traitors and the truth.
Oh, do you read, my lord, what she hath writ? Rape, Chiron, Demetrius.
What? The lustful sons of Tamra? My lord, kneel down with me. Lavinia, kneel. And kneel, sweet boy. And swear with me that we will prosecute by good advice mortal revenge upon these traitorous Goths and see their blood or die with this reproach.
'Tis sure enough, and you know how. But if you hunt these bear whelps, then beware. Here, young huntsman Marcus, let it alone. Come, go with me into mine armory. Lucius, my boy, I'll fit thee, and withal shall carry from me to the empress' sons presents. I intend to send them both. Come, now do my message, wilt thou not?
Aye, with my dagger in their bosoms, grandsire.
No, boy, not so. I'll teach thee another course. Lavinia, come! Marcus, look to my house.
Oh, heavens, can you hear a good man groan and not relent or not compassion him? Marcus attend him in his ecstasy, and hath more scars of sorrow in his heart than foeman's marks upon his battered shield. Yet so just that he will not revenge. Revenge, ye heavens, for old Andronicus!
Tamara's boys, Demetrius and Chiron, are about to receive a warning from Titus, delivered by Lucius, his young grandson. thinking that they have the upper hand, they're too stupid to be concerned. They should be. After all, this is tragedy, boys and girls. And Demetrius and Chiron have absolutely no idea what the birth of their half-brother has in store for them. Now, this is tragedy, you see. And the ups and the downs, the ins and the outs, the tops and the bottoms can trade places in a heartbeat. The hunter becomes the hunted. Just ask Actaeon.
Demetrius, here's the son of Lucius. He had some message to deliver us.
A mad message from his mad grandfather.
My lords, with all the humbleness I may, I greet your honors from Andronicus.
Gramercy, lovely Lucius. What's the news?
My grandsire, well advised, has sent by me the goodliest weapons of his armory to gratify your honorable youth, the hope of Rome, for so he bade me say. And so I do, and with his gifts present your lordships, that whenever you have need, you may be armed and appointed well. And so I leave you both. The bloody
What's this? A scroll and written round about. Let's see. He who is pure of life and free of sin needs not the bow and arrow of the Moor.
'Tis a verse in Horace, I know it well. I read it in the grammar long ago.
Aye, just a verse in Horace, right you have it. What a thing it is to be an ass. Here's no sound jest, the old man hath found their guilt, and sends them weapons wrapped about in lines that wound beyond the feeling to the quick. But were our witty empress well afoot, she would applaud Andronicus' conceit. But let her rest in her unrest a while. Was it not a happy star led us to Rome, strangers more so captives to be advanced to this height? It did me good before the palace gate to brave the tribune at his brother's hearing.
Ah, but me more good to see so great a lord basely insinuate and send us gifts.
Had he no reason, Lord Demetrius? Did you not use his daughter very friendly?
I would we had 1,000 Roman dames and such a babe I turn to serve our lust.
A charitable wish and full of love.
Here but lacks your mother to say amen.
Come, let us go and pray to all the gods to aid our mother in her labor pains.
Pray to the devils, the gods have give us over.
Why do the emperor's trumpets flourish thus?
Belike, for joy the emperor had the son.
Soft, who comes here?
Oh, good morrow, lords. Tell me, did you see Aaron the Moor?
Well, more or less, or near wit at all. Here Aaron is. What with Aaron now?
Oh, gentle Aaron, we are all undone. Now help, or woe betide thee evermore.
Why, what is this caterwauling thou keep? What dost thou rap and fumble in thine arm?
Oh, that which I would hide from heaven's eye, on empress shame and stately Rome's disgrace. She is delivered, Lord, she is delivered.
To whom?
I mean, she is brought to bed.
Well, God give her good rest. What hath he sent her?
A devil.
Well, she is the devil's dam, a joyful issue.
No, a joyless, dismal, black, and sorrowful issue. Here is the babe, as loathsome as a toad, amongst the fairest breeders of our clime. The emperor sends it thee, thy step, thy seal, and bids thee christen it with thy dagger's point.
Zooms he, whore, is black so base a hue. Sweet blouse, you are a beauteous blossom, sure.
Villain, what hast thou done?
That which thou cannot undo.
Thou hast undone our mother.
Villain, I have done thy mother.
And therein, hellish dog, thou hast undone. Woe to her chance, and damned her loathed choice. Accurse the offspring of so foul a fiend.
It shall not live.
It shall not die.
Aaron is must. The mother wills it so.
Why must it, nurse? Let no man but I do execution on my flesh and blood.
I'll broach the tadpole on my rapier's point. Nurse, give it me. My sword shall soon dispatch it.
Sooner this sword shall ply thou bowels up. Stay, murderous villains. Would you kill your brother? Now by the burning tapers of the sky that shone so brightly, when this child was got, he dies upon my scimitar's sharp point that touches this my newborn son and heir. What? Ye sanguine, shallow-hearted boys? Ye ale-painted house signs? Coal black is better than another hue, in that it bears to scorn another hue. For all the water in the ocean can never turn a swan's black legs to white, although she lave them hourly in the flood. Tell the empress from me, I am of age to keep mine own. excuse it how she can.
Wilt thou betray thy noble mistress thus?
My mistress is my mistress, this myself, the vigor and the picture of my youth. This before all the world do I prefer. This spite all the world I will keep safe, or some of you shall smoke for it in Rome.
By this our mother is forever shamed.
Rome would despise her for this foul escape.
The emperor in his rage will doom her death.
I blush to think upon this ignominy.
Well, that's the privilege your beauty bears. Fie, treacherous Hugh, that will betray with blushing the close and acts and counsels of thy heart. Here is a lad framed of another leer. Look how the thick-lipped slave smiles upon the father, as to say, old lad, I am thy own.
What shall I say unto the empress?
Advise the heir in what is to be done, and we will all subscribe to thy advice. Save thou the child, so we may all be safe.
Then sit we down, and let us all consult. My son and I shall have the wind of you. Keep there. Now talk at pleasure of your safety.
How many women saw this child of his?
Why, so brave, lords. When we join in league, I am a lamb. But when you sort the moor, the chafed boar, the mountain lions, the ocean swells, not so as erring storms. But say again, how many saw the child?
Cornelia, the midwife, and myself, and no one else but the delivered empress.
The empress, the midwife, and yourself. Two may keep counsel while the third's away. Go to the empress and tell her this, I said. Weak! Weak! So cries the pig prepared to the spit.
What meanst thou, Aaron? Wherefore didst thou this?
O sirs, 'tis deed of policy. Shall she live to betray this guilt of ours, a long-tongued babbling gossip? No, sirs, no. You see, I give her physic, and you must needs bestow her funeral. The fields are near, and you are gallant grooms. This done, see that you take no longer days, but send the midwife presently to me. The midwife and the nurse well made away. Let the ladies tattle what they please.
Aaron, I see thou wilt not trust the heir with secrets.
For the care of Tamara, herself and hers are highly bound to thee.
Now to the Goths, as swift as swallow flies, there to dispose this treasure in mine arms, and secretly greet the empress and her friends. Come on, you thick-lipped slave. I'll bear you hence, for it's you that puts us to our ships. I'll make you feed on berries and on roots, and on curds and whey and suck the goat, and cabin in a camp, and bring you up to be a warrior.
A strong man stands secure in the knowledge that he perceives the world aright. A broken man sees madness huddled in every darkened doorway. Such a man is Titus Andronicus, who entreats his family to shoot arrows into the air, into the heavens, with messages asking the gods to wreak vengeance on their imperial family. Oh, the gods won't pay any attention, I can tell you that. They're too busy with toga parties to care. And an arrow, when it is shot into the air, must come back down to earth again. And it will arrive at the same speed with which it is initially launched. So be careful what you wish for, my friends. Meanwhile, a somewhat saner Marcus sees this as an opportunity to taunt the emperor and expose him as an egregious bawd unworthy of the crown. So he asks his fellows to shoot their arrows into the courtyard of the palace, thus hoping to rattle Saturninus' cage.
Come, Marcus! Come, kinsman, this is the way! So, boy, now let me see your archery. Look, you draw home enough, and 'tis there straight. Justice has left the earth! Remember, Marcus, she's gone, she's fled. Sirs, take you to your tools. You, cousin, shall go sound the ocean and cast your nets. Happily, you may catch her in the sea. Yet there's as little justice as at land. No, Titus and Sempronius, you must do it. 'Tis you must dig with mattock and with spade and pierce the inmost center of the earth. Then, when you come to Pluto's region, I pray you deliver him this petition. Say it is for justice, and for aid, and that it comes from old Andronicus, shaken with sorrows in ungrateful Rome. Ah, Rome. Well, well, I made thee miserable what time I threw the people's suffrages on him that doth thus tyrannize o'er me. Go, get you gone, and pray be careful all, and leave not a man of war unsearched. This wicked emperor may have shipped her hence. Then, kinsmen, may we go fight for justice.
Publius, is not this a heavy case to see thy noble uncle thus distract?
It does, my lord, it does. It does. We will comfort him as best we may, and beget some careful remedy.
Kinsman, his sorrows are past remedy.
How now, Publius? How now, my masters? Marcus, you good archer, come to this gear. To Jove, that's for you. Here, to Apollo. Here, boy, to Pallas. Here, to Mercury. Saturn, Caius, not Saturnine. You were as good to shoot against the wind. To it, boy, Marcus, this one I bid. Of my word I have written to effect, is not a god left unsolicited.
My lord, I am a mile beyond the moon. Your letters with Jupiter by this.
Marcus, we are but shrubs, no cedars we. No big-boned men framed of the Cyclops' size. Metal, Marcus. Steel to the very back, yet wrung with wrongs more than our backs can bear. In Sith there's no justice in earth nor hell. We will solicit heaven and move the gods to send down justice for to wreak our wrongs.
Kinsmen, shoot all your shafts into the court. We will afflict the emperor and his pride.
Now, masters, draw! Oh, well said, Lucius! Again! Come, Marcus, let us go! Publius, follow me!
My lords, what wrongs are these? Was ever seen an emperor in Rome thus overborne, troubled, confronted thus, and for the extent of equal justice used in such contempt? My lords, you know as know the mindful gods, however these disturbers of our peace buzz in the people's ears, there not hath passed but e'en with law against the willful sons of old Andronicus. And what and if his sorrows have so overwhelmed his wits? Shall we be thus afflicted in his reeks, his fits, his frenzies, and his bitterness?
My gracious lord, my lovely Saturn.
And now he writes to heaven for his redress. See? Here's to Jove, this to Mercury, here's to Apollo, here's to the god of war. Sweet scrolls to fly about the streets of Rome. What's this but libeling against the Senate and blazoning our injustice everywhere? A goodly humor, is it not, my lords? As who would say in Rome no justice were?
Lord of my life, commander of my thoughts.
But if I live, his feigned ecstasy shall be no shelter to these outrages, but he and his shall know that justice lives in Saturninus' health, whom if she sleep, he'll so awake as she in fury shall cut off the proud conspirator that lives!
Oh, calm thee, and bear the thoughts of Titus' age, the effects of sorrow for his valiant sons, whose loss hath pierced him deep and scarred his heart. And rather comfort his distressed plight than prosecute the meanest or the best for these contempts. Why, thus it shall become high-witted Tamara to gloze withal. But, Titus, I have touched thee to the quick, thy life blood out. If Aaron now be wise, then is all safe. The anchor's in the port.
Despiteful and intolerable wrongs, shall I endure this monstrous villainy? I know from whence this same device proceeds. May this be born as if his traitorous sons that died by law, the murder of our brother, have by my means been butchered wrongfully. Go, drag the villain hither by the neck, nor age nor honor shall shape privilege. For this proud mark I'll be thy slaughterman, sly frantic wretch that helped to make me great, in hopes thyself should govern Rome and me. What news with thee, Emilius?
My lord, Rome never had more cause. The Goths have gathered head, and with a power high resolved men bent to the spoil, they hither march amain under conduct of Lucius, son to old Andronicus.
Is warlike Lucius, general of the Goths? Aye, now begin our sorrows to approach. 'Tis he the common people love so much. Myself hath often overheard them say when I have walked like a private man that Lucius' banishment was wrongfully, and they have wished Lucius for their emperor.
Why should you fear? Is not your city strong?
Aye, but the citizens favor Lucius and will revolt from me to succor him.
King, be thy thoughts imperious like thy name. Is the sun dimmed that gnats do fly in? Then cheer thy spirit, for know thou emperor, I will enchant the old Andronicus with words more sweet and yet more dangerous than baits to fish or honey stalks to sheep.
But he will not entreat his son for us.
If Tamara entreat him, then he will. Go thou before. Be our ambassador. Say that the emperor requests a parley of warlike Lucius, and appoint the meeting e'en at his father's house, the old Andronicus.
Emilius, do this message honorably, and if he stand on hostage for his safety, bid him demand what pledge will please him best.
Your bidding shall I do effectually.
Now will I to that old Andronicus, and temper him with all the art I have.
Then go incessantly and plead to him.
Do you think only politics make strange bedfellows? In what other system would Joan of Arc and Bluebeard have anything in common? Try war, where you take your allies where you find them. References are not checked. Everyone is on the honor system. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. The Goths, having lost the previous title bout against the Romans, are itching for a rematch and anticipating those pay-per-view revenues. And Lucius, their old arch-enemy, seems to be just the agent to broker that deal. Well, the ink is barely dry on the contract when who should appear but Aaron and his infant son. It looks as though Aaron versus Lucius could be an undercard revenge match.
Approved warriors and my faithful friends, I have received letters from great Rome which signify what hate they bear their emperor and how desirous of our sight they are. Therefore, great lords, be as your titles witness, imperious and impatient of your wrongs, and wherein Rome hath done you any harm, let him make treble satisfaction.
Brave slip, sprung from the great Andronicus, whose name was once our emperor and now our comfort, whose high exploits and honourable deeds in grateful Rome requites with foul contempt. Be bold in us, we'll follow where thou leadst, and be accursed, avenged on accursed Tamara.
I humbly thank him, and I thank you all. But who comes here led by a lusty god?
Renowned Lucius, from our troops I strayed to gaze upon a ruinous monastery, and as I did earnestly fix mine eye upon the wasted building, suddenly I heard a child cry underneath a wall. I made unto the noise, when soon I heard the crying babe controlled with this discourse. Peace, tawny slave, half me and half thy dam, I'll hold thee dearly for thy mother's sake. With this, my weapon drawn, I rushed upon him, surprised him suddenly, and brought him hither, as you think you should use needful of the man.
O worthy Goth, this is the incarnate devil that robbed Andronicus of his good hand. This is the pearl that pleased your empress eye, and here's the base fruit of his burning lust. Say, wall-eyed slave, whither wouldst thou convey this growing image of thy fiend-like faith? Why dost not speak? What, deaf? What, not a word? A halter, soldiers. Hang him on this tree, and by his side, his fruit of bastardy.
Touch not the boy, he's of royal blood.
To like the sire for ever being good. First hang the child, that he may see it sprawl. a sight to vex the father's soul withal.
Lucius, save the child, and bear it from me to the empress. If thou do this, I will tell thee wondrous things that may highly advantage thee to hear. If thou will not, befall what may befall, I'll speak no more, but vengeance rot you all.
Say on, and if it please me which thou speakst, thy child shall live, and I will see it nourished.
If it please thee, were I sure thee, Lucius, 'twill vex thy soul to hear what I shall speak. For I must talk of acts of murders, rapes, massacres, black nights, abominable deeds, complots of mischief, treason, villainies, ruthful to hear yet piteously performed, and all that will be buried by my death, unless you swear to me my child shall live.
Tell on thy mind, I say thy child shall live.
Swear that he shall, and then I will begin.
Who should I swear by? Thou believest no God, that granted, how canst thou believe an oath?
I do not, as indeed I do not. But thou art religious, and hast a thing in there called conscience. Therefore, if thou swear by that God, or what God soe'er it be, to bring my boy up, or else I'll talk not to thee.
E'en by my God, I swear to thee I will.
Then first know I begot him on the empress.
O most insatiate and lecherous woman!
Tut, Lucius, that was but a deed of charity, which you will not hear from me anon. 'Twas her 2 sons that murdered Bassianus. They cut thy sister's tongue and ravished her, and cut her hands and trimmed her as they sauced.
Detestable villain, call'st thou that trimming?
Well, she was washed and cut and trimmed, and 'twas trimmed sport for them that had the doing of it.
O barbarous, beastly villains like thyself.
Indeed, I was their tutor to instruct them. That cotting spirit had they from their mother. That bloody mind I think they learned from me. Let my deeds be witness to my worth. I train thy brethren to that guyful hole where the dead corpse of Bassianus lay. I wrote the letter thy father found and hid the gold within the letter mentioned. I played the cheater for their father's hand, and when I had it, drew myself apart, and almost in extreme laughter, I told the empress of this sport, and she bid me 20 kisses for my tidings.
What, canst thou say all this and never blush?
I, like a black dog, as the saying is.
Art thou not sorry for these heinous deeds?
Aye, 10,000 more. Even now I curse the day, and yet I think few come within the compass of my curse, wherein I have done some notorious ill as kill a man, or devise his death, ravish a maid and plot the way to do it, accuse some innocent and forswear myself, set deadly enmity between 2 friends, make poor men's cattle break their necks. Oft have I set barns to fire and haystacks, and bid their owners quench them with their tears. Oft have I digged up dead men from their graves, and set them upright at their dear friends' doors. And when their sorrow was almost forgot, as on their skins, as on the bark of trees, have with my knife carved in Roman letters, let not your sorrow die, though I am dead. Tut. I have done 1,000 dreadful things as willingly as one would kill a fly, and nothing grieves me heartily indeed, but that I cannot do 10,000 more.
Let up the devil. For he must not die so sweet a death as hanging presently.
Wish there were devils, would I were a devil, to live and burn in everlasting fire, so that I may have your company in hell, but to torment you with my bitter tongue.
Sirs, stop his mouth and let him speak no more.
Oh, my lord, there is a messenger arrived from Rome, desires to be admitted to your presence.
Let him come near. Welcome, Aemilius. What's the news from Rome?
Lord Lucius and you princes of the Goths, the Roman emperor greets you all by me, and for he understands you are in arms, he craves a parley at your house, willing you to demand your hostages, and they shall be immediately delivered.
Aemilius, let the emperor give his pledges unto my father and my uncle Marcus, and we will come. March away!
just got to admire Titus's hubris. Well, actually, you've just got to admire hubris, period, because wherever you have hubris, then that bitch Nemesis will not be far behind. You see, hubris and Nemesis go together like cakes and ale, like fish and chips, like politics and corruption. And without them, there could be no tragedy. Then how boring would life be then? Virtue, always triumphant. Love, always conquering over impossible odds. And what if Oedipus had said to his mother, "Nice to meet you, ma'am. I'll see you again sometime." Boring, boring, boring. Lord, if I wanted to be bored to death, I'd vacation in heaven. Oh, anyway, where was I? Oh, yes, Titus's hubris. Now, no one would disagree that Titus has endured unimaginable pain and suffering. But to get the gods to sign off on his particular idea of justice, Hubris. And the gods are silent, I can tell you that. Now, this response will only make Titus more insane, if that's possible. Meanwhile, Tamara's own people are about to attack Rome. Oh, what's a girl to do? Tamara is desperate to lure Lucius away from his army, so she gets an idea. She decides to dress herself up as the goddess of revenge and enlists her sons, Demetrius and Chiron, to play the spirits of rape and murder. Not exactly casting a kite against type there, is she? In this device, she hopes she can persuade the old warhorse Andronicus to get his son to call off the attack. Now, Titus is just crazy enough that he might do it, but Titus may be down, but he's not yet out, and he is struggling up from the mat as the referee's count reaches 9.
Titus!
Who doth molest my contemplation? Is it your trick to make me open the door that so my sad decrees may fly away and all my study be to no effect? You are deceived, for what I mean to do, see here in bloody lines I have set down, and what is written shall be executed.
Titus, I am come to talk with thee.
No, not a word. Thou hast the odds of me, therefore no more.
If thou didst know me, thou wouldst talk with me.
I am not mad. I know thee well enough, for our proud empress, mighty Tamara. Is not that coming from my other hand?
No, thou sad man, I am not Tamara. She is thy enemy, and I thy friend. I am Revenge, sent from the infernal kingdom to ease the gnawing vulture of thy mind by working wreakful vengeance on thy foes. Come down and welcome me to this world's light. Confer with me of murder and of death.
Art thou revenge? And art thou sent to me to be a torment to mine enemies?
I am. Therefore, come down and welcome me. These are my ministers, rape and murder.
Good Lord! How like the Empress' sons they are, and you the Empress. But we worldly men have miserable, mad, mistaking eyes. Oh, sweet Revenge, now do I come to thee, and if one arm's embracement will content thee, I will embrace thee in it by and by.
This closing with him fits his lunacy. Whate'er I forge to feed his brain-sick fits, do you uphold and maintain in your speeches. For now he firmly takes me for revenge. And being credulous in this mad thought, I'll make him send for Lucius, his son. See, here he comes, and I must ply my theme.
Long have I been forlorn for thee, and all for thee. Welcome, dread fury, to my woeful house. Rapine and murder, you are welcome too. How like the Empress and her sons you are. Well are you fitted had you but a Moor. Could not all hell afford you such a devil?
What wouldst thou have us do, Andronicus?
Show me a murderer, I'll deal with him. Show me a villain that hath done a rape and I'm sent to be revenged on him.
Show me 1,000 that have done thee wrong, and I will be revenged on them all.
Look round about the wicked streets of Rome, and when thou find'st a man that's like thyself, good murder, stab him, he's a murderer. Go thou with him, and when it is thy hap to find another that is like to thee, good rapine, stab him, he's a ravisher. Go thou with them, and in the emperor's court there is a queen attended by a Moor. Well mayst thou know her by her own proportion, for up and down she doth resemble thee. I pray you, do on them some violent death. They have been violent to me and mine.
Well hast thou lessoned us, this shall we do. But would it please thee, good Andronicus, to send for Lucius, thy thrice valiant son, and bid him come and banquet at thy house? I will bring in the empress and her sons, the emperor himself, and all thy foes. And at thy mercy shalt they stoop and kneel, and on them shalt thou ease thy angry heart. What says Andronicus to this device?
My brother Marcus, 'tis sad Titus calls. Go, gentle Marcus, to thy nephew Lucius. Thou shalt inquire him out among the Goths. Bid him repair to me, and bring with him some of the chiefest princes of the Goths. Bid him encamp his soldiers where they are. Tell him the emperor and the empress too feast at my house, and he shall feast with them. This do thou for my love, and so let him as he regards his aged father's life.
This will I do, and soon return again.
Now will I hence about thy business, and take my ministers along with me.
Nay, nay! Let rape and murder stay with me, or else I'll call my brother back again and cleave to no revenge but Lucius.
What say you, boys? Will you abide with him whilst I go and tell my lord the emperor how I have governed our determined jest?
Madam departs at pleasure. Leave us here.
Farewell, Andronicus. Revenge now goes to lay a combat to betray thy foes.
I know thou dost, and sweet revenge! Farewell.
Tell us, old man, how shall we be employed?
Tut! I have work enough for you to do. Publius, Camilla, Caius, and Sempronius.
What is your will?
Know you these two?
The emperor's sons, I take them, Demetrius and Chiron.
Fie, Publius, fie! Thou art too much deceived. Murder is the one, rape is the other's name. And therefore bind them, gentle Publius. Caius and Sempronius, lay hands on them, and stop their mouths if they begin to cry.
Villains forbear! We are our sons!
And do we what we are
Come, come, Lavinia. Look, thy foes are bound. Now let them hear what fearful words I utter. Oh, villains Chiron and Demetrius. Here stands the spring whom you have stained with mud. This goodly summer with your winter mixed. You killed her husband, and for that vile fault, two of her brothers were condemned to death. My hand cut off and made merry jest. Both her sweet hands, her tongue, and that more dear than hands or tongue, her spotless chastity, inhuman cares, you constrained and forced. What would you say if I should let you speak? Villains, for shame! You could not beg for grace. Hark, wretches, how I mean to martyr you. 'tis one hand yet is left to cut your throats, whilst that Lavinia 'tween her stumps doth hold the basins that receive your guilty blood. You know your mother means to feast with me, and calls herself revenge and thinks me mad. Hark, villains, I will grind your bones to dust, and with your blood in it I'll make a paste, and of that paste a coffin I will rear, and make 2 pasties of your shameful heads. And bid that strumpet, your unhallowed damn, like to the earth, swallow her own increase. This is the feast I have bid her to, and this the banquet she shall surfeit on. And now prepare your throats. Lavinia, come! Receive the blood. And that they are dead, let me go grind their bones to powder small. And with this hateful liquor, temper. And in that paste, let their vile heads be baked. Come, come! May everyone officious to make this banquet, which I wish may prove more stern and bloody than the Centaur's feast. So, now bring them in, for I'll play the cook and see them ready against their mother comes.
One must admire a man who has an idea and then sticks to it. One must admire a great artiste, however melancholy his media. So therefore, let us acknowledge Titus Andronicus, the Beethoven of bestiality, the Diaghilev of destruction, the Bobby Flay of fatality, the Rembrandt of revenge. And soon, Tamara will have a belly full of her boys, literally. Now, let us bear witness as Titus's concerto of cruelty reaches its appointed crescendo. The hall reverberates with the final notes. The conductor's arms fall to his side, and silence anticipates a thunderous applause. A banquet has been set. Dinner is served.
Uncle Marcus, since 'tis my father's mind that I repair to Rome, I am content. Good uncle, take you in this barbarous whore, this ravenous tiger, this accursed devil. Let him receive no sustenance. Fetter him till he be brought unto the empress' face for testimony of her foul proceedings. And see the ambush of our friends be strong. I fear the emperor means no good to us.
Some devils whisper curses in my ear, and prompt me that my tongue may utter forth the venomous malice of my swelling heart.
Away, inhuman dog! Unhallowed slave! Sirs, help our uncle to convey him in. The trumpets show the emperor is at hand.
The feast is ready, which the careful Titus hath ordained to an honorable end, for peace, for love, and league, and good to Rome. Please you, therefore draw nigh and take your places.
Marcus, we will.
Welcome, my gracious lord! Welcome, dread queen! Welcome, your warlike Goths! Welcome, Lucius, and welcome all! Although the fare be poor, 'twill fill your stomachs. Please, you eat of it.
Why art thou thus attired, Andronicus?
Because I would be sure to have a well to entertain your highness and your empress. Will please you eat, will please your highness feed.
We are beholding to you, good Andronicus.
And if your majesty knew my heart, you were. My lord the emperor, resolve me this. Was it well done of rash Virginius to slay his daughter with his own right hand because she was enforced, stained, and deflowered?
It was, Andronicus.
Your reason, mighty lord.
Because the girl should not survive her shame, and by her presence still renew his sorrows.
A reason mighty, good, and effectual. A pattern, precedent, and lively warrant for me, most wretched, to perform the like. Die, die, Lavinia, and thy shame with thee, and with thy shame thy father's sorrow die.
What hast thou done? Unnatural and unkind!
Killed her? For all my tears have made me blind. I am as woeful as Virginius was, and have 1,000 times more cause than he to do this outrage. And it now is done.
What? Was she ravished? Tell who did the deed.
Why hast thou slain thine only daughter thus?
Not I! 'Twas Chiron and Demetrius. They ravished her and cut away her tongue, and 'twas they did her all this wrong.
Go! Fetch them to us hither presently!
Why, there they are! Both baked in that pie, whereof their mother daintily hath fed, eating the flesh that she herself hath bred. 'Tis true, 'tis true. Witness my knife sharp.
Die, frantic wretch, for this accursed deed!
Can the son's eye behold the father bleed? There's meat for me! Death for a deadly deed!
What are you doing?
You sad-faced men, people, and sons of Rome, by uproar severed like a flight of fowls scattered by winds in high tempestuous gusts. Oh, let me teach you how to knit again this scattered corn into one mutual sheaf, these broken limbs again into one body. Come, come, thou reverend man of Rome, and bring our emperor gently in thy hand, Lucius, our emperor, for well I know the common voice do cry, it shall be so.
Let Rome herself do bane upon herself, for she who mighty kingdoms curtsy to, like a forlorn and desperate castaway, do shameful execution on herself.
Now is my turn to speak. Behold this child. Of this was Tamara delivered, the issue of an irreligious Moor, chief architect and plotter of these woes. The villain is alive in Titus' house, and as he is to witness, this is true. Now judge what cause had Titus to revenge these wrongs, unspeakable, past patience, or more than any living man could bear.
Long live Lucius, Rome's royal emperor! Go, go into Titus' old sorrowful house, and hither hail that misbelieving Moor to be adjudged some direful death as punishment for his most wicked life. Long live Lucius,
Rome's gracious governor!
Thanks, gentle Romans. May I govern so to heal Rome's harms and wipe away her woe.
You sad Andronici have done with woes. Give vengeance on this execrable wretch, the half-been breeder of these dire events.
Set him breast deep in earth and famish him. There let him stand and rave and cry for food. If anyone relieves or pities him, for the offense he dies. This is our doom.
Why should wrath be mute and fury dumb? I am no baby I with base prayers, that I should repent the evils that I've done. 10,000 worse than ever yet I did what I perform, if I might have my will. If I have done one good deed in all my life, I do repent it from my very soul.
Go, some of you, bear Saturninus hence, and give him burial in his father's grave. My father and Lavinia shall forthwith be closed in our household's monument. As for that heinous tiger Tamara, no funeral rite, nor man in mourning weeds. No mournful bell shall ring her burial, but throw her forth to beasts and birds of prey. Her life was beast-like and devoid of pity, and being so shall have like want of pity. See justice done on Aaron, that damned Moor, by whom our heavy haps had their beginning. Then afterwards, to order well the state, that like events may ne'er it ruinate.
Yeah!